Okay. Nicole's first claim was banning guns will not decrease gun violence. First of all, banning guns will not decrease gun violence. Guns are supposedly bought from a licensed gun shop, which has already many regulations, like Brady Act of 5-day waiting period, something like that. And buying them elsewhere would be considered illegal, and identifying the buyer as a criminal. And my first scoring claim is that criminals, first of all, they don't. Gun laws won't apply to criminals. Criminals basically don't obey laws. So if guns are outlawed, then outlaws will have guns. Gun control laws will actually help the criminals by disarming the law-abiding people. Study shows by the NRA that homicides were either committed by criminals and mentally challenged people, which again, gun control laws won't apply to. It's not about having guns that's the problem, but the violence that this culture has been accustomed to. For example, despite of Chicago's strict gun laws, they already banned handguns, but it's still the murder capital of the U.S. And then Nicole mentioned about gun deaths. My reason is that gun violence isn't relevant compared to the leading causes of deaths or accidental deaths. Study shows by the National Vital Statistics Report states that the leading causes of deaths are heart attacks. And it's about 30 heart attacks, cancers, and strokes. About 35% of Americans die from heart attacks, and about 25% dies from cancer, and about 6% of Americans die from strokes. So we're just looking at gun rates as like a fraction of death totals, where only 2% of Americans die from firearms. Firearms aren't even either close to being the leading cause of accidental deaths. The leading cause of accidental deaths are motor vehicles, falls, poisons, drownings, and fires. So 44% of Americans die from motor accidents every year, compared to the 1% of accidental deaths from firearms. And Nicole mentioned something about gun ownership they abuse their privilege of possessing guns, but that's not true. There's little or no evidence that it is true, but what we do know is that buying guns come from an intense background check from the FBI and the buyer to make sure that they're in fact responsible. And Nicole mentioned selling guns in the black market. First of all, the NRA and the other gun rights organizations are against selling guns in the black market. Gun control laws only ban handguns, which don't prevent other guns from circulating. The black market is unavoidable because there's always people who want to legally sell handguns. Therefore, it's better to protect yourself with a handgun just for precaution. Better to have it and not need it than need it and not have it. And she mentions importation of gun parts. There's nothing wrong with importing gun parts as long as it's fixing your guns. People make their guns look nicer, stuff like that. There are actions that are already being done by the ATF tracking down illegal gun trafficking. The gun owner's job is to protect, and the ATF's job to police that illegal importation. Gun owners aren't disrespecting authority. They are the authority at their properties, and guns are used, like she said, like 2 million times a year for self-defense. There are about 37 million people that live in California, where there are only 90 to 100,000 cops. A single cop signed for every 370 people just isn't enough. Therefore, they need to protect themselves. Again, enforcing laws towards gun control will just take away rights of law-abiding citizens. It's difficult to prevent criminals to get guns, but somehow they still find a way. Only way to destroy all guns in general is to take away the Second Amendment, but that's impossible. The advocate got it wrong because people won't apply this to their enforcing laws because of the Second Amendment. In addition, gun control laws can only ban guns that are specifically stated and described, which doesn't apply to new versions of guns that are being